After months of turmoil, Sri Lanka finally has a new president, Ranil Wickremesinghe, who has been serving as the acting president of the country so far, elected as the 8th executive president of Sri Lanka. The six-time prime minister has been elected with 134 votes, defeating ruling SLPP leader Dallas Alahaperuma, who got 82 votes. While the third contender and the leader of the leftist Janata Vimukti Peramuna party, Anura Kumara Disanayake, got only 3 votes. This as 223 lawmakers cast their vote to elect the new president, and 2 abstained, while 4 votes were found invalid during the counting. Soon after emerging victorious, the newly elected President Wickremesinghe said that the country is in a very difficult situation and there are big challenges that have to be dealt with. Wishes were pouring in for Wickremesinghe as he has taken the Herculean task of bringing Sri Lanka's crippling economy back on track. Former Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa's son Namal Rajapaksa and SJB leader Harsha De Silva took to Twitter to convey their wishes to the new president. Wickremesinghe's election as the country's president, it has once again sparked a turmoil on Colombo streets, however, as protesters gathered outside the presidential office demanding his resignation as he is considered to be loyal to the Rajapaksa family. Born into a prominent family of politicians and businessmen, Wickremesinghe was made the country's youngest cabinet minister at the age of 29 by his uncle and then president in 1978. In 1994, he became the leader of the United National Party following assassinations that wiped out several of his senior colleagues. He was recently appointed as Sri Lanka's Prime Minister by former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa after his brother Mahinda Rajapaksa stepped down from the post owing to massive protests. However, his loyalty towards the Rajapaksas made him a target of massive public outrage. On the 9th of July, Wickremesinghe announced that he was willing to step down as Prime Minister after protesters swarmed through central Colombo and set a part of his personal residence ablaze. And for more on this, we're now being joined by our correspondent Dasini Athoda from Colombo. Dasini, thank you for joining us. Now, Ranil Wickremesinghe has been elected as the 8th executive president. However, Sri Lankans, they're not happy with this decision. What lies ahead for the island nation and what challenges lie ahead for Wickremesinghe?
In terms of understanding the people's mood, it is apparent that protests have broken out in central Colombo in dissent of this decision that was made solely by Parliament. This is because this is the first time in Sri Lanka's history an executive president is chosen purely through a parliamentary poll, because in all other instances it was the public that decided for their president. So it will be interesting to see how President Wickremesinghe will be navigating and balancing the parliament while also pacifying the voices of these protesters who seem to be of the view that President Wickremesinghe is also not the most suited candidate to pull Sri Lanka out of this crisis. What is also interesting to see is that we are yet to see how the main opposition parties will be responding, reacting, or even showing their support to the new president.
Right. In fact, I was going to ask, do you think the election of Wickremesinghe will help solve some of the political issues in the country? And how do you think the all-party government will be formed now?
Just a little while ago, speaking to the media, MPs Manusha Nanayakkara and Harin Fernando, who were just out here, did say that they are in fact hopeful that this decision and that the decision of this election for Ranil Wickremesinghe to be elected as the 8th executive president will sort of be a wake-up call for all parliamentarians to finally unite and come together to form this all-party government, because both of them are absolutely hopeful that this all-party government will be formed at its earliest.
All right, Dasan, thank you so much for bringing us all the updates on that. And for more on this, we were also earlier joined by M. Ashraf Hydari, Afghanistan ambassador to Sri Lanka. This is what he had to say. Let's listen in.
The new president needs time. I think he's made it very clear that the challenges are enormous, that it needs time to address them internally and also with the support of the international community. And so the people of Sri Lanka really need to be patient and give him the time that he or any other, a candidate or successor would need to address the challenges facing Sri Lanka. And remember, those challenges are not just in Sri Lanka, but in so many other countries that are grappling with those challenges, and they've been working over now the past 2-3 years to address them. So the newly elected president needs time, and I think he was very clear on his goals when he was picked as the acting president, but also when he was, picked as the prime minister. And I think, yes, people could be dissatisfied with his performance in the past, but he's come forward to, offer his assistance and support for the nation at a time when Sri Lanka needs it the most. And I think people need to be patient and give him the time that he needs to address the challenges. And those challenges are very specific when it comes to specific needs: electricity, energy, gas, but petrol, and as well as food. So it takes time, and I think the new president should be working very soon with India and other countries in the region, China, of course, and as well as the West European Union, the United States, and other countries and friends of Sri Lanka to shore up the support the country needs to address those very specific and acute needs of the Sri Lankan people.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.